Hey everybody, it's Brooke. I hope you're having a great day. And here we are, finally. I'm such a fibber. I have been promising this tutorial series on making a grocery bag junk journal. And I also promised that it would go up yesterday, which was July 30th. However, by mistake, I went to our library book sale, and needless to say, many hours later, I got home and did not feel like finishing up the video. It was amazing. They are a very old library and a very large library, and their book sale is amazing. So I will show you my goods from there at some point. But anyway, so here we are. This is going to be part one. I decided a lot of people had asked about making grocery bag journals, and a couple other techniques. So I decided I know there are a million out there, so if you've seen this, move along, that's cool. But I decided to put it all together and do a series of videos making a grocery bag junk journal from start to finish, and throwing in some other things that people have asked about along the way, including printing on strange things and maybe some coffee dyeing and just some various things, maybe some beading, just stuff. So I guess it will be a series that goes on until we're all sick of it. So here we go. This is just the overview, the introduction. I love making journals out of trash. Yep, pretty much, recycling. So this is just a regular grocery bag that we get in my town. We no longer get plastic bags, and if you forget your reusable bags, then you get a brown paper bag. I love them. I like how they feel. I like how they smell. I like drawing on them. So I decided to make some journals, and thought I'd show you how to too as well. Yeah, that sounds better. So what I've done is I've designed a digital, I'm sorry I keep slamming my hands, I don't know why I do that. I've designed a digital kit that I'm going to use while making this junk journal. It's available for free on the Facebook page, and it's got 10 pages, 10 8.5 by 11 pages, 5 fronts, 5 backs, and 3 sheets of ephemera, like pockets and tags and tabs. And I'll ask the nice old man to link it down below so that you can scoot over to our Facebook page and grab that if you would like to make this along with me, or just to have the pages or not. But it's my first crack really at doing some digital designing, so let me know if you like it. It was a lot of fun to do, and I based it all on this magazine that I found. This is, well, you can't see the whole thing, obviously, a Woman's Home Companion from April 1906, and it's just gorgeous. It's in really great shape. Obviously, I have chopped it up quite a bit because I've been using it, but the paper is in great shape. So I did a lot of scanning out of this and used that kind of thing for the digital kit, along with some things from, of course, the Graphics Fairy, because they rock. And so that's what the kit's about. So you can go over to the Facebook page and download the kit. You will need a grocery bag or two. And that's about it. Anything that you'd like to bind into it, junk mail. Kathleen, if you're watching, this is a great time for you to go rooting through your recycling bin and just make a journal along with me. And if you hate how it comes out and the binding doesn't work for you, throw it away and start again. And so that is pretty much it. Now, pay attention, because as I said, down below there's a link to get the free digital kit that I'll be using. I also have had several people tell me they can't get these paper bags. And so what I've done is I went ahead and put together a kit. If you want to make a journal just like the one I'm going to make and don't have the inclination to gather your own stuff or whatever, or if you want to make a totally different kit, I have put together a kit for the shop. And actually, before I show you the kit, let me go ahead and show you what the digital looks like. Again, it's free. I think I said that 10 times. All right, let me put that stuff away. So this is the digital kit. I'm going to hold it up some because it's pretty light colored. I like my pages to be that way. And I've just used, let's see, what's a good place? I think that's a good place. I've used ads out of that magazine. I watercolored, layered a bunch of pages on top of each other. The back side of that is just a bunch, again, of images that I scanned from the magazine or got from the graphics fairy or painted. So that's page 1 and 2, if that's what you want them to be. Here's another one that I watercolored and then just overlaid some vintage wallpaper images over. And there's the other side. There's vintage linen that I scanned and just different pieces from the magazine and whatnot, vintage papers. Here's I did show you both sides. Here's another page with the watercoloring and a map and a big ad from the original magazine, some old memo paper that I had that had this really cool handwriting on it, and more of the watercoloring. And this is the other side. And just little bits and pieces here and there. An old Mother Goose book that I have that I scanned, and a index card that I coffee dyed. Here is just a blank page, good for journaling, and this is a sort of old, like ledger book, but it's pocket size, and I just blew it up after I scanned it. And this is the other side. Here's this page. This is a old school book that I found that I absolutely adore. And the other side with some vintage linen in the middle. Not real vintage linen. I mean, I scanned it. It's from a real vintage linen. Oh my God. And then here are the cut-aparts. There is a journaling piece that you can fold up and journal on the back. There is the image of that I scanned. It's an old greeting card that I have. A tag. On this page, they're kind of all, I tried to fit them in as best I could. Here's a label and some vintage tickets. And this came out of my faux flow from my friend Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Here's a corner tuck and that same index card that I coffee dyed with the scan of the linen on it. And here's an old picture and just florals and a butterfly layered on it. And again, this woman just reminds me of Edith Holden. I just like how that looks. And then here's the last one. Whoops. This is a library pocket that you can cut out and glue apart. Here's a library card to go into it, a couple of page tabs, a corner tuck that goes the other direction, and a quote that says, "Gardening is how I relax. It's another form of creating and playing with colors," by Oscar de la Renta. So that is the free kit that you can download over on our Facebook page. And as long as you're going over there, hey, like the page. Join us for the shenanigans on Facebook. So that's the freebie. Now, again, if you just don't feel like gathering stuff, you don't have anything for whatever reason, if you would just like to have all the stuff come to you, there's this kit that we've put together. It's packed in here pretty tight. Let's see if I can get it out. All right, so obviously you get this very cool 9x12 envelope that can be used. I have my big bite over here holding down the paper, and if I knock it over one more time, I'm going to scream. And there's a glare because this is plastic. Let me move that. So the first thing that you'll get are papers. You'll get 2 grocery bags, and these are full grocery bags. And I think I'm going to reach over here and take this stuff out of the cellophane bag so that it doesn't hurt your eyes. Then you will also get a vintage receipt. And this is real ephemera. This is not scanned. A page, a smaller size page to go in your book that I cut out with my Cricut. And the scrapbook set that I'm using, the scrapbook paper pad, there we go, that I'm using in this is Prima's You and Me Forever, I think. You and Me Together. One of those two. We'll write it in the description. So that little doily piece was cut out from my Cricut, and what I would do is just go ahead and fold it in half and bind it probably right into the journal. Then you'll get 3 full pages of coffee dyed graph paper. This is hand coffee dyed by me, and I did take it right out of the binding. I cut the stitches so you get the full sheet, and there are 3 of those. A sheet of freezer paper. Freezer paper, you say, that's odd. This is 8.5 by 11, and this is what we're going to use to stuff weird things into our printer, if you're bold enough. I found it very difficult to find, and it took me about a week, and I had to go to 5 different stores. So I've included a sheet in case you want to try it, and you also have a hard time finding freezer paper. There's also a page from the original magazine. This is not scanned. This is from the 1906 magazine. Oh, and just so that you know, a lot of them are blue on the other side. It had to have had something to do with the printing process, but some of them are blue. They just are. And then there'll be 2 8.5 by 11 sheets of the Prima paper. Obviously, they will not be all the same, but it will be from the same paper pad with those beautiful pinks and blue. That's not blue, that's purple. Good grief. All right, so that's the paper that you get. You will also be getting a sticker sheet that I'm not done designing yet, but it will be based on the same thing, and it'll be a 6 3/4 by 9-inch sticker sheet. Then for, let's see, we'll do this one next. Just for little bits and ephemera pieces, you will get this little tiny floral bag, so cute. You will get a border strip that's butterflies, cut from the same Prima paper. You'll get this pocket. This is another corner tuck. Oop, that has a paper tab stuck to it. So this is one of the triangle ones that opens up, and you can glue it so that you can tuck something behind it as well. You'll get 2 page tabs. I don't know where the other one is. Oh, here he is. So you get 2 of those. You'll get a couple of these label shapes. And again, these will vary. They'll be the same shape, but obviously the paper will be different parts of the paper. Then you'll get one of those index cards. This is the actual card that I scanned to use in the kit. You'll get one of these. You'll get this beautiful lacy heart. You'll get this die cut that says love. You'll get this super cool pocket that I saw on Patricia Viramonte's page. It's made from vintage bookpage, and it's actually got 3 pockets. One there, one there, one there, and then if you glue it on 3 sides, you'll have one back behind. And this is stitched, and it's made from a 1920s Peter and Wendy book. So I thought that was so cute. Then you'll get this glassine envelope that I printed on. There's that. You'll get a vintage greeting card. Again, that will vary from kit to kit because it's real ephemera, and I only have 1 of each. So those are really cute. Then you'll get this paper bag. You'll get a glassine bag. And you'll get a full page from the Peter and Wendy book. These are stained. They are aged. They are a little brittle because the book is from the 1920s. So those are the paper bits that you'll get. Oh, I said bits. Someday I'll get through a whole video without saying that, maybe. And then finally, you'll get a bag full of sort of textile-y pieces. So we've got, let's see, a sticky back flower, a little purple crocheted flower. Oh, look how red my hands are. When it gets hot, my hands get super red. You'll get a little quote that's printed on vintage fabric. Here's another piece of that vintage fabric that has a digital layout that I designed printed on it. That could be a pocket or a flip or anything you wanted it to be. You will get 2 yards of pink, well, that's kind of flashed out. This is baby pink seam binding for your closure. You will get a foot of very vintage eyelet lace. A foot of very vintage pink lace, a foot of rosette trim that is not vintage, and I have a little bit of a lot of different kinds, so you will get rosette trim. It just might not be this exact piece. and then a little piece of vintage fabric to mess around with. This is very old fabric. Some of it does have some staining. You can see right there. I have washed and pressed all of it, but some of it will have some staining just because it's super old. And then finally, in this little bag, the little finishing touches. And I'm going to use this kit to make the journal in our journey. So if you want to play along, this will be available. In this little bag, there is enough bookbinding thread to bind your journal. If you've never used actual bookbinder's thread, you might really enjoy this because it is really nice to work with. It's extremely strong, and I find it a lot easier to sew with than embroidery thread or whatever. There are a couple little pearls and a little tiny, I'm not going to try to pick this up. No, I guess I better because you can't really see. All right, let's see. A couple little pearls, a pink crystal bead, a clear crystal bead, a little rosebud bead. I get really shadowed in there. I think you can see that all right. A Tim Holtz index clip, 2 of the little tiny Tim Holtz paper clips. Come here, you rascal. 2 of these guys. A pink paper clip. A couple little metal charm bead things. A couple of eyelets to make your closure. I'm going to use eyelet and seam binding to make my closure, so if you care to do that, you'll have those. A Tim Holtz bulb pin. And 2 head pins. And those are for making some little charms or bead dangles, and we'll do that at some point on our road trip here. So that is what is in the kit. And again, they may not all be exactly the same. It will be close enough that you can follow along in the tutorial or do your own thing. But some of these things I only have 1 or 2 of, and I'll have to mix and match. So that is, let me put this, I better put these back in the bag. So again, complicated. Free kit on the Facebook page of the printables. A kit that you may purchase in our Etsy shop if you want all the bits and pieces that I'm going to use. And I will also ask the nice old man to link that down below. And off we go. We are going to make a fun grocery bag junk journal. So I really appreciate you sticking around for this introduction. The next video up is going to be actually making the cover. So if you're going to play along, find a grocery bag or a gift bag or whatever you want to use. And part 2 will be actually making the cover of our journal. So thank you so much for sticking around with me. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe down below. You guys have been awesome. I can't believe how fast the subby base is growing, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And go check out the freebies on Facebook, check out the kits in Etsy, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much, and have a great day. Bye.